Hello my dear students, what a joy to see you at the board. Mr. Mac, always excited to see my dear student who wants to learn more, and that's why you're here and you want to learn more. Well, how was like the Math Victory virtual classroom? And how was the video? Did you see that in that video? All those buildings that has a circle to it? That's what we're going to learn in this lesson. We're going to learn about circle, okay? Now we're going to learn the characteristic of circle, okay? So it isn't good if you know the characteristic of circle. If you to build a building that has a circle to it, it's going to be easy. Am I right? Okay, let's learn everything that you need to know about circle, okay? Now, circle has a center. That's a very important point, okay? The point is the center, okay? That's the center. And then from the center you have circumferences. Okay, what is circumferences? Okay, let's say for example, now when in previous lesson we talked about perimeter. Perimeter, you use it to find the length surrounding, kind of like fencing a house. Let's say you have a house, okay, and we want to fence around that house. All right, and what do we call that? When you start from point A, let's say it's point A, B, C, D. So we start from point A to B to C to D and back to A. That's called what? Perimeter. Alright? That's perimeter. Now, perimeter, you use it for shapes with the straight lines. Now, for circumference, you use for circles. Alright? You don't use the word perimeter. Okay? So now, Mr. Mac, to take the compasses, alright? And then I position the sharp point. In your case, you will be using this compass right here, okay? The sharp point right there, and mine will be the suction cup. I'm going to put it right on the center. The moment I put it right on the center, and I start, let's say I start point A right here, okay? Let's say I start A right there, and then I go all the way around. I go all the way around, okay? Look at that. I go all the way around and back where I started, okay? See that? Where I started right there. Okay, and that is called circumference. Okay, so let's break that down. The word circumference. Okay, circumference. All right. Okay, so that's how you spell it, circumference. Okay, all right, that's what it means. You start from point A and you go all the way around and back where you started. Okay, so there's no stop to it, and that's the circumference of the circle. And then we want to talk about radius. Now, did you notice that when Mr. Mac put the center, okay, and then I start right there, and then I go all the way around. Now, this is what you call radius. See that? From the center point to the circle, okay, the line of the circle, it's called radius. Okay, so in other words, this is radius. That is radius. Very important. I want you to know this. That is radius. Now, the radius of a circle is equal all around. Even if I put a radius right there, okay, it's same length as that. Even if I put it right there, and then even I put it right there, that's why it makes it circle, a perfect circle. All right, because from the center to the line of the circle, okay, the circumference, all right, you pick any points, the length is going to be same, and that is called radius. All right, now when to radius, it's called diameter. Okay, in other words, if I put a straight line that goes through the center, and that is called diameter. Okay, that is called diameter. So in other words, 2 radius makes 1 diameter. Okay, very important. Okay, so in other words, half diameter makes how many radius? 1 radius. All right, so 1 radius. So in other words, half of the diameter is a radius. All right, so keep in mind, this whole line from this end to this end going through the center, it's called diameter. But if it's only from the center to the outer side of the circle, okay, the outer line of the circle, you call that radius. All right, very important. Make sure you know this is radius, this is the diameter, and this is the circumference. All right, now circumference start from one point and you end to the where you started. All right, and that is called circumference. Okay, now let's talk about chord. Now, what is chord? Chord is when I take 2 points, all right, on the circle. All right, let's say point here and then a point right there, and then I draw a line. I join those 2 points on the circle. All right, and that is called chord. Okay, so in other words, I can create chord any way I want. Right there, that's another chord. See that? Okay, and then there's another chord right here. See that? All these are called chord. C-H-O-R-D. That's chord. And this is also chord. C-H-O-R-D. Alright? And this is also a chord. C-H-O-R-D. Chord. Alright? Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, now we want to talk about arc. What is arc? Now let's say, well, let Mr. Mac draw another circle, okay? So in order to draw a circle, we got to start with the center point, all right? The point of center, that's the center point. And then we got to have a radius. See that? So this is the radius right there, okay? So from the center, and then I put it right here, and then I just draw a circumference, okay? Make sure this one is, okay, right there. Let me start again. Okay, now I just rotate it, all right? That's my starting point right there. And then when I complete it, it makes what? Circumference, okay? So now we want to find the arc. The arc is if I find a sector, all right? In other words, I just pick a sector, all right? Let's say I just put a line from this line, all right? Put a line right here, and then I put another line right there. Now this is arc. Keep in mind, that is arc. Alright, now like what you saw right there, like a piece of pie, like that, alright, or pizza. See that? How you, when you cut a cake or pizza into pieces, you see that like this? This is called sector. Alright, now this line right here is called arc. Arc, alright, keep in mind that is arc. Now this whole thing right here, it's called sector. That's called sector, alright, keep in mind. Now this is a minor arc, this is a major arc. Alright, this is a minor sector, this is a major sector. See that? Okay, so in other words, you got a small piece of pizza compared to a big piece of pizza. Alright, that's why this is a minor and this is a major, but you call that sector, and this one you call major sector. And what do you call this one right here? That you call arc. Okay, now what is segment? Segment is, let's say if I cut this one, and this is segment right there. Segment, minor segment, okay? So segment. So it's a minor segment, and this one is a major segment, alright? So this is a minor, and this is a major segment. See that? Alright? So let's recap, okay? Everything that we talked about. First, center point, very important, the center, that's right there. The center of the circle is the perfect center of the circle. Alright, you gotta have the center not to able to draw the circle, alright? Okay, and when you locate the center, and when you create a radius, let's say you position certain amount of length and radius, and then when you go around it, and when you, from where you started and to the point where you ended, that called circumference, okay? Circumferences, alright? So that's called circumference, okay? Then we talked about, of course, radius, alright? The radius is there from the center point to the line to the next point on the circle, okay? That's the length from center to the circle, and the length, that is called radius. This is radius. Now what about diameter? Diameter goes from one point of the circle to all the way to another point of the circle, going through the center. Very important. Diameter is going through the center. So in other words, if I take the straight edge, alright, so one point on the circle, another point on the circle, make sure it goes to the center right there. And that is diameter. Okay, that means it makes what? Two radius. Radius 1, radius 2. Two radius makes one diameter. Alright? Okay, so then we talked about chord. Now what is chord? Chord is the line right here. This line is a chord. This line is a chord. That line is a chord. Alright? Now don't mix it up with the segment. Segment is this whole thing right here. Alright? This is called segment. This is a chord. Alright? Alright, and then arc. What is arc? Arc is right here. This, when I create a sector, alright, when I create a sector, it has the arc. See that? That's the arc. And this is a sector. And then this is a minor sector, this is a major sector. This is a minor arc, this is a major arc. See that? The line on the circle, alright, that is the arc. The sector is the whole thing right here. That is sector. Alright, and then we talked about segment. This whole thing is a segment, minor segment, major segment. Alright, okay, good. Let Mr. Mac erase the board and let's talk more about circle, the characteristic of circle. And I'll be back with you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, in order to draw a circle, what do we need? Okay, so we need a center point, that's for sure, right? Okay, let's say I say draw a circle with a radius of 2 centimeters. Alright, how do we do that? First, we need a center point. Alright, right there, we put a center point right there. Okay, so the radius is 2 centimeters. Okay, let's take the straight edge and let's use this as our scale. Okay, that each section is like 2 centimeters, kind of magnified measurement. Alright, okay, so we're going to measure 2 centimeters. We take the compasses, take the sharp part on the 0 and then position it such a way it's touching the 2. See that? That means that's a 2 radius. Alright, because why is 2 radius? Because remember, it's the sharp part is on the center point, and right there, that's the radius. See that? Now when I rotate this compasses, it create a circumferences. See that? So that circumferences, it's as the equal distance, that is the radius, equal distance from the center to the circle. That's the radius. Okay, now keep in mind, from the center to the circle, and what's the radius? 2 centimeters. Okay, if I were to put a straight line, and that is the radius, which is 2 centimeters. See that? Now if I to extend, let's put another line that goes through the center, and what do you call this? Diameter. And what's the length of that diameter? 4 centimeters. How's that 4? Because this is 2 and this is 2. 2 plus 2 is 4 centimeters. That's the diameter. Alright? So that's the diameter is 4 centimeters. See that? Okay? So now if I to tell you, I'll give you a diameter. I said a diameter of 6 centimeters. I want you to draw a circle. So how do we do that? Alright, so again we need a center point, but we always, when you use a compasses, you always use a radius. That means if it's 6 centimeters diameter, and what would be the radius? Half of the diameter, because we know that 1 diameter equals to 2 radius. Okay, so that means if you are looking for 1 radius, half diameter. So in other words, if I know the diameter is 6 centimeters, that means I divide that by 2, gives me the radius. See that? So which is the radius is what? 3 centimeters. Okay, so now I take the measuring the straight edge, alright, and I measure for 3 centimeters. I take the sharp point, put it right on the 0, and then position it such a way this one is on the 3. Okay, so I put that on the 0 and that's on the 3. Alright, so now that gives me 3 centimeters, okay, radius. So now I put the sharp point of the compasses on the center of the circle, and then right there, that's the 3 centimeters. Okay, so now I rotate the compasses, okay, and that creates what? The circumference. Okay, the circumference. Alright, there we go, right there. See that? Where you started, it joins. Okay, see that? Joined it right there. See, that's a circle right there. So now look at that, 4 centimeter diameters versus 6 centimeter diameters, right? Because what is the radius is? 3 centimeters. And what is the diameter is? 6 centimeters. See that? Alright, I know Mr. Max kind of used the hand way to draw it. I should have used a straight edge, because the radius and the diameter is always a straight, perfect straight line. Alright, so I should have used the straight edge, not used my hand sketch. Okay, so just keep in mind. Alright, it's going to be straight line. Alright, and same thing with this one, is the halfway from the center to the circle, and that's the radius. And that's the center point. And what do you call this one right here? Circumference. Okay, good. now we know that that's the diameter and this is the radius. Okay, so now let Mr. Max say draw a chord. Alright, and then I told you the length of the chord is 4 centimeters. So how do I do that? So now I take the measuring straight edge, okay, with the scale, and I look for 4 centimeters. So I put the sharp part of it on the 0 and then stretch this compasses until it touches 4 right there. See that? That's the length of 4 right now. Okay, now what I do is I find anywhere on the circle, I put it right there, and then I look for it to touch right there. See that? Okay, so make sure when you pick that anywhere, make sure you put the point right there. Okay, let's say if I pick this is the anywhere, and then make sure you put it right on the top and then mark it. So now this point and that point, you want to join it, because that is what you call chord. Alright, so now we're going to join that. So we're going to join that, and that is 4 centimeters. See that? Okay, so let's say if I ask you 5 centimeters. Alright, so what do? Again, put it to the 0 and then you stretch that compasses until it touches to the 5 right there. 5. Okay, so now I take this again, put it any place you want. Put it, like say I'm going to start this is where I'm going to put the sharp part of the compasses. Okay, put it right there, and then see where it touches on the circle. It touches right there. Okay, so you just create a arc. So now where the intercepting of the circle and the arc is the point, another point of the chord. So now I take the straight edge, I join those 2 points, this point and that one right there. So when I join it, and that gave me a chord right there. See that? That gave me a chord. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, so good. So that's the chord. So what is the length of this from this point to this? Is 5 centimeters. Exactly. So it's very important. Okay, so whenever you want to find a chord, you gotta have a point on the circle as a starting point. So this is called chord. So 5 centimeters. All right, now let's say Mr. Mac to tell you draw 2 chords. All right, let's say I give you a point. All right, this is the point right there. Okay, on this point A, draw 2 chords. Okay, and each chord length is 2 centimeters. So how do we do that? Again, we're going to use the measuring straight edge with the measuring. So we're going to position it such a way we get the length is 2 centimeters. All right, so we put it 0 and then stretch it such a way that it points like the 2 right there. All right, so that gives me 2 centimeters. Okay, so now what I do is I take the sharp point of the compasses. Okay, the sharp point, I'm going to put it on the A, because this is where we want to find 2 chord. All right, so I'm going to put in an arc on crossing the circle on this side and another arc crossing the circle on this side. The purpose is the intercept of this arc and the circle is there's a point right there. Okay, and there's a point right there. Okay, now I take the straight edge and I join those 2 points. Okay, from A to that point right there. All right, so I join that, and then from this A to that point right there. Now keep in mind, this chord and this chord is what? 2 centimeters, 2 centimeters. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, my dear student. Okay, let Mr. Mac erase the board and let's talk more about circle, and I'll be back in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, this time Mr. Mac wants to draw a circle, okay, with a sector. Alright, my dear student, this time Mr. Mac wants to draw a sector, okay, on a circle with an angle of 60 degrees. And I told you the radius is 3 centimeters. Okay, how do we do that? Alright, so again we need the compasses. Alright, so what is our first step ought to be to draw a circle? Center point. Very important, you got to start a center point. Alright, and then you're told the radius is what? 3 centimeters. So we're going to take the straight edge and we're going to look for the radius. So always put the sharp part of the compasses on the straight edge, and then position it such that you get a 3 centimeters. See that right there? I got 3 centimeters right there. Alright, 3 centimeters. Okay, so now I take the compasses, okay, and then put the sharp on the center point. Okay, once you position it and secured it, and then you just draw the circle right there. See that? So that creates a circle with a radius of what? 3 centimeters. And what's the diameter would be? 6 centimeters. Alright, there you go, we got a circle. Okay, so now I want to draw a sector. Alright, so what is the angle I said? 60 degrees. Okay, so in order to do that, first I want to find a starting point. Alright, let's say this is the starting point. Okay, so let's put one straight line joining the center point to a point on the circle. Okay, right there. Alright, so once you draw this line, alright, our next goal is what? To find the angle, 60 degrees angle. You know that it rotates this direction. Alright, so we want to find what? So there's no way for us to know what the 60 degree angle will look like. That means we need what? Another tool. Okay, another tool to give us the measurement of 60 degrees angle to create the sector. Alright, so that's where this tool comes in. It's called protractor. Now Mr. Mac have a complete circle type of protractor. Mostly the one that you will see is the half of it, just like this, like that. You're gonna have this one right there. Alright, so we're gonna use this protractor. Okay, so we want to find 60 degrees. Now the way the protractor was made is, it starts 0 and then goes 90, 180. In Mr. Mac's protractor, I got 0, 90, 0, 90, 180, 270, 360. See that? The complete circle is what? 360. If it's half circle, 180. Okay, so we want to go this way down, so I position it in such a way. Now look at the center right there. Alright, I want you to position that center on the center right there. Alright, see that? Line it up like this. So now this is my 0, so I want to look for 60, so I go 0. Alright, so 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60 is right there. So I mark it right there. Alright, I put a line like that. Alright, so that's my 60 degrees. So, okay, so I marked it that way. Now I take the straight edge and then I put it from the center and passing through that line. Alright, and I'm passing through that line and then I put it straight out right there. See that? I created a sector. Okay, and that sector has a 60 degree angle. Alright, and this is called sector. Now what do you call this line right here? That is the arc, but this is a sector. Alright, pretty easy, isn't it? Now let's say I said, okay, now draw me another sector that has a 45 degrees. Okay, now this time I want this direction, 45 degrees. So what do we do? Again, use the protractor. Okay, grab the protractor. Now see that center point in the middle, so you position it such a way that this is going to be a 0 to 45. We're going to go that way. So position it such a way that that center point is right on the center of the circle, and then this black line right here is lined up with that, because that's the 0. See that? Now I want to find 45. So 10, 20, 30, 40, and then 50. Between 40 and 50 is 45, and that is right there. Then I put a line right there. Okay, so once I put that line right there, okay, now a dot point right there, then I join those 2 points, the center point and that will automatically leads it to the circle. See that? That leads it. So just put a straight line. Now this is what is 45 degrees. Alright, now I want to create 120 degree sector. Okay, this is a sector with a 45 degrees angle. I want to create 120 degree sector, 120 degrees. Okay, in other words, how do we do it? Okay, again, we're going to treat this is the starting point, which is 0 degrees. So we can take the protractor again. Alright, see that black dot in the center? That's going to be your center right there, position center. Line it up such a way that the black line right there, and it's going to fall right on top of that, because that's going to be a 0. So you want to go this way to 120. So that is 0, and then 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, and then 100, 110, 120 right there. Okay, it's right there. Okay, I put a dot right there. Okay, and then I take the straight edge and then I join that point, meet the center point with that point. all right, because that will straight lead me to the, touches to the circle right there. And this is 120 degrees. 120 degrees. Sector. See that? All right. Now this is all called sectors. Okay. Keep in mind. So it's pretty straightforward, isn't it? How you want to find the sector. Okay. All right. Let Mr. Mac erase the board, and I want to put a circle. Then I'm going to have Simon. We're going to work together. All right. I'll let you know when Mr. Mac back in a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, now Mr. Mac got a circle on the board. Now, the assignment that that we're going to work together is, we want to find the center of that circle, and also we want to know what the radius is going to be. See that? Can you guess where the center would be? It will be very difficult. I know it's going to be somewhere here. Is that going to be really the center? We don't know. Alright? So that's why, because you can't just simply guess that's where the center is going to be. Alright? Okay, it's kind of like taking the dart. Just throw it wherever it lands. That's going to be the center. No, it won't work. That's not how mathematics works. Alright? So we're going to using our tools that we have and find the center. Alright, so how are we going to do that? First, we're going to draw two chords. Okay, what's chords? Exactly, just two chords means two lines right there that touches from one side of the circle to another side of the circle. Okay, let's say I create one right here, and then I'm going to create another one right there. Alright, doesn't matter, randomly anywhere, doesn't have to be same. Alright, there we go. Alright, we create two chords. Alright, okay, the next thing I want to do is, I want to create a perpendicular line to this chord and that chord. How do we do that? Okay, that's why we need the compasses. Okay, so first what are you going to do? We're going to take the sharp point. Let's start with the first one. Alright, we're going to put it right in the center, right on the edge of it, and then we know this is going to be the center. I'm just going to stretch a little bit. Okay, I'm going to put one arc here and then another arc there. Alright, and then I'm going to pull it out, and then I'm going to do it right there, same thing. Okay, make sure you don't change the size. Alright, very important. Okay, okay, then I'm creating another arc there, and then another arc there. See, that's not long enough, so I'm going to, okay, make sure it's long enough such a way that it intercept. Alright, okay, so let's make sure that's long enough. Okay, right there. Okay, okay, now it's intercept. Right there. It's this point and this point right there. Okay, so I'm just going to draw a straight line joining those 2 points. Okay, I'm just going to do a straight line. I'm just going to draw that. So those two are reference points for me to help me to draw a straight line that's perpendicular to that chord. Alright, okay, it's going to be perpendicular to that chord, so I'm just going to draw that line. Alright, this is all construction lines. Alright, there we go. Okay, now we're going to do the same thing with this chord. Alright, so what are we going to do again? We're going to find a perpendicular line to that chord. And how do we do that? Okay, we're going to use the compasses. Okay, we're going to first start this point right here, and then we're just going to, what are we going to do? Exactly, we're going to put actually a arc here and an arc there. Alright, okay, so we're going to put two arcs, and then we're going to do the same thing on this side. We're going to put in the point right there, and what are we going to do again? We're going to create an arc. Alright, look like that one's not long enough, so we'll do it again. Okay, but this one right here, okay, there we go, that one intercept. Okay, those two intercept, but that one didn't, so I have to go back again and put a longer one, so that way it intercept right there. Oh, make sure, same right there you go. Okay, there we go. Okay, so we got a point right there and a point right there. Okay, now we're going to take the straight edge, and then we're going to join those 2 points, and then we're going to extend that line. Alright, okay, we're going to extend that line. Alright, okay, there we go. Oops, there we go. See that? Now with the 2 perpendicular line that was created from the chord 1 and chord 2, okay, these are perpendicular lines. Alright, where they intercept right there, this is the intercept, and that is the center of the circle. Alright, so if Mr. Mac would now take this compasses and I position it on the center right there, and then I measure it such a way. Now look at that. If I do, alright, again it will go off a little bit because this is more of a what? It's not like a precise tool, okay, we're using, because this is more of a suction cup. It doesn't have the point, but still it's going to be close enough to give us that. See right there, see that? Look at that. What does it tell you? Oops. Okay. See that? Isn't it amazing? Right there. We located the center point. See that? That is the center of the circle. Okay, so now, and what's another question, what's another thing I want to look for? And what's another thing that I want you to look for, which is the radius. Okay, so now we know this is the center point. That means we should able to measure from this point to this point will be the radius. That's the length. Okay, that's the length. So we're going to position it such a way. It's 2.5 centimeters. 2.5 centimeters is the radius. The radius is 2.5 centimeters. See that? Okay, let's recap what we did. In order to locate, let's say, for example, Mr. Mac to have a circle right here. All right, in order to locate the center point of this circle, what I have to do? I have to draw two chords. All right, and then from the chord 1, I create a perpendicular line, and then create another perpendicular line where the two perpendicular line that crosses, okay, the point of intercept is the center point. All right, and you should know how to find the perpendicular line of a line. All right, in other words, the point A, point B, C, D. Based on those 2 points, you should be able to find the perpendicular line. All right, based on these 2 points, you should be able to find the perpendicular line, and those two perpendicular lines are crossing right there, and that is the center point. Pretty much that's what we did right there. That perpendicular line to this chord, and this line, this perpendicular line is perpendicular to this chord, and where they intercept, and that's the center. Crazy, isn't it? All right, good. All right, my dear students, let's do this. Let's do a hands-on practice, okay? Well, let's see what Pablo's doing. All right, look like he's working on some hands-on practice. Okay, good. Well, let Mr. Mac erase the board, and I'll be back in a few seconds, and then we'll call Pablo out. All right, I'll see you in a few seconds. Alright, my dear students, are you ready for some hands-on practice? Alright, let's call Pablo, okay? Pablo, come on over, Pablo. Come on over, bring me the worksheet with you. Here's our student, and they are ready for hands-on practice. Yes, my dear students, once Pablo hand over their worksheet to you, be sure to pause the video. Once you're done, invite Mr. Mac in. Have fun. Good, how was it? Pretty easy, isn't it? Straightforward, okay? Alright, let's do it together, okay? Now, the first question says, draw a circle with a radius of 3 centimeters, okay? Radius, remember radius, alright? The A is asking for the radius, alright? So what do we do? First, we locate a center point, okay? Always start a center point. Let's say that's our center point. And we're going to take a radius of 3 centimeters. That means we're going to need exactly the compasses, okay? So now what we're going to do is we take this compasses and then take the straight edge that has a measurement. So we kind of use this straight edge that has a magnified, okay, centimeters. Now this is not the real measurement of centimeters. It's kind of magnified so you can see, easier for you to see. All right, I want you to take your straight edge and then your compasses, straight edge and your compasses. Take the sharp one, put it to the 0, and then adjust this one such a way that it's 3. It points it to the 3 right there. See that? Okay. All right. So Mr. Mac's gonna hold it right here. All right. Okay. There we go. Now it's 3. Okay. So it's 3 centimeters, and that is the radius right there. See, from the center to the circle. Okay. Oh, let me put this straight edge down. Okay. From the center to the circle. Okay. See that? That is the radius, that's 3 centimeters. So now just turn that compasses around, and that makes the circumference. All right, circumference right there. There you go, right there. That's the circle right there. Pretty easy, isn't it? Okay, good. And then now the B says a diameter of 5 centimeters. 5 centimeters diameter. But we know that 2 radius makes 1 diameter. That means if it's a 5 centimeters diameter, what's the radius will be? 2.5 centimeters. Okay, we only use that when you use the compasses, you have to use the radius, not the diameter, but still you can if the diameter is given, just divide that by 2. Okay, so 5 divided by 2 is 2.5. all right, so we're going to take the straight edge. Okay, so we're going to measure it such a way it is 2.5. so we put it to the 0, the sharp point, and then position the such a way that it touches the halfway between 2 and 3. See that? 2.5 right there. Okay, and now we're going to use the center point there. Okay, so we're going to put it right on the center point right there. Put the sharp part of it on the center point that you already marked it, and then do what? Exactly, you're right. And then just rotate it. Okay, there we go. There you go. Okay, just rotate it, and that's the circle right there that has the diameter of 5 centimeters. Okay, so this is the diameter. When you have a point that goes, a line that goes to the center point to the circle from both ends. All right. Okay, see, from this side of the circle, go to the center point to that side. That is called diameter. Okay, that's the diameter, which is the 5 centimeters, and then from the center point to the circle of this one is called the radius. Okay, radius, and that was how many centimeters? 3 centimeters. 3 centimeters, right there. Okay, got it? Good job. Alright, good. Now let's look at problem number 2. Now problem number 2 says construct a 4 centimeters chord of a circle with 3 centimeters radius. So pretty much we're going to use this circle right there, the outer one. Alright, because that's asking for 3 centimeters. Okay, so there we go, we draw the circle with the 3 centimeters, but we want a chord of a length of what? 4 centimeters. Okay, so again we're going to use the compasses. Alright, we're going to take the compasses and here's the straight edge, and then we're going to measure this one to 4 centimeters. Okay, so we're going to put the sharp point of the compasses on the 0, and then we're going to stretch this such a way that it touches the 4. Okay, so Mr. Meg, we can put right there 4, and then right there. Alright, okay, see that the sharp point is on the 0, and this one is pointing on the 4 right there. Okay, you got it? Alright, good. So now take this is a 4 centimeters long. Alright, and then what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick any point on the circle. Let's say I pick this point right there. Alright, then what I do is I take the sharp point. In your case it will be the sharp point, mine will be the suction cup. I'm going to put on that point right there, and then look for where it's going to mark. Alright, cross the arc that's going to cross to the circle right there. Okay, and then I take the chalk and then look for the intercept between the circle and the arc right there, and then take the straight edge and then join those 2 points, because that's going to be the what? Chord. Okay, and you know that chord is going to be how long? 4 centimeters. Exactly 4 centimeters. I'm just going to join that right there. See that? And that is the chord. Pretty easy, isn't it? Very straightforward. Alright? Okay, good. Now let's look at problem number 3. Now problem 3 says draw a 70 degrees angle sector of a circle with 5 centimeter diameter. Alright, so 5 centimeter diameter right there. So we already got the circle that has a 5 centimeter diameter right there. Okay, we're going to use a smaller one, the inner one. Alright, and we want a sector of 70 degrees angle. In order to find the 70 degrees angle, we need what? Protector, because protector has the angles in it. Alright, because that's why we're going to use this one right here. Okay, so let's use this is our starting point, and then we want to find the 70 degrees. Alright, that way. So that means I take the protector and position the 0. First look at the center right there. The center right there is going to be the center of the circle. Position like that, and line it up this line right there. So that's the 0. So now you want to go 70 degrees this way. So you want to look for 10, 20, let's see, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 right there. And then just put where the 70 is marked, just put a point right there. Okay, because you want to draw a straight line joining this to this. That's going to help you to guide you to give a straight line. Alright? Okay, let's do that. Okay, I'm going to position the straight edge such a way it lined up with the center point and the point that I found that gives me 70 degrees angle. Alright? Okay, so I'm just going to join that. Join that and then stretch it all the way. Touch to the, exactly to the, and also do the same thing with this one. Okay, stretch it such a way. This one goes all the way out. Alright? Okay, and then touches right there. Okay? So we're just going to erase this. We don't need this one. Okay? So we know that is 70 degrees angle. Okay, and now this is the sector, a 70 degree angle sector. Pretty easy, isn't it? Alright, good. Okay, good. Well, let's look problem number 4. How about I do this? Let Mr. Mac erase the board, then we'll do problem number 4, and I'll be back within a few seconds. Alright, my dear student, problem number 4. Problem number 4 says draw a circle, okay, using a coffee cup. Alright, okay, in this case, let's say if you have a coffee cup, alright, and then put this on the bottom of it, okay, and then just put on top of a paper, and then just draw a circle. Okay, that's what I was meant by it. And then from that circle, I want you to find what? The center point. Okay, locate the center point and the radius of the circle using a straight edge and a pair of compasses. Okay, so first you draw. That's what Mr. Max got. You got a circle for you. I draw a big one. This is a big mug. All right, coffee cup. All right. Okay, so the reason I make it big so you can see how I'm doing it. All right. So then we're going to locate where the center is. There's no way for us to tell where the center is. Okay, because we want to find exactly where the center is by using what? Exactly, a straight edge and a compasses. Okay, and then we want to find what the radius of this circle is. Okay, so what we do first, we want to draw 2 chords. All right, let's draw 2 chords. So pick any point. Let's say I'm going to put a point right there. All right, and then just draw 2 chords. Okay, all right, so we're going to put a line right there. Okay, from this circle to that side of the circle. All right, that's first chord, and then we're going to put another one right here. Okay, so it doesn't matter where you put it. Okay, it's just that it's touching 2 sides of the circle. There you go. All right, once you've done that, okay, I want you to put a point there, point here, and then point there where that thing is touching the circle. All right. Okay, now we take the protector. Our goal is to find a perpendicular line to this chord and this chord. Alright, so when that 2 perpendicular line crosses or intercept, and the point of intercept is the center point of the circle. So to find the center of a circle, you need to create 2 chords and then find the perpendicular line to that 2 chords, and those 2 perpendicular lines that you created from the 2 chords will intercept, and the intercept will be the one, the center point. Alright, let's do that. Okay, now we'll need the compasses. Okay, so first we're going to do is take the sharp point of the compasses and put it on the one point of the, okay, of the chord, the one end of the chord, and then let's see if this is the center, just put it longer like that. Alright, so create 2 arcs, one on the bottom, one on the top. Alright, and then pull this around and then go to this side and this side, but don't change the size. All right, the size of the compass. Okay, compasses, keep it consistent length. All right, so we're going to put one up, we're going to put one right there. Let me redo it again. We're going to put one right there and then one right there. Okay, my goal is to create what? Intercept between those 2 arcs. See that right there? This is the point right there, that's the point right there. Okay, and then I'm going to take the same compasses, and then I'm going to put the sharp point right there. Okay, now again, this one doesn't have, for the second chord, the length doesn't have to be same, so you can just change it as long as the center right there, just make it longer. Alright, so then create another arc. Alright, create another arc. Okay, and then pull it out and then put it right here. Oh, let's put back in there because we're going to create 2. So the first one on the top, and then another one is on the bottom. Alright, okay, and then we're going to put it on this side and do the same thing. Okay, in such a way that intercept with this arc, and then put one on the bottom. See that? So it's intercepting right here and right there. Okay, so now we're going to join those points. All right, those 2 pair points, this one and this one belong to this chord, so we're going to join that. Okay, let's join that. and then we're going to make a straight line. All right, let's do that. Okay, so I'm going to join that, and then I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm just going to join it. Let me make it darker. All right, let me make this one darker. Okay, oops, let me see. Okay, very important, lining them up. Okay, lining them up is very important. Okay, all right, make sure I line it up right. All right, then I'm just going to darken it so that you can see better. All right, and then I'm going to do the same thing on this one. All right, now remember, this line becomes perpendicular to this chord. All right, now I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to line it up such a way, like that. Okay, those 2 points are lined up, and then I'm just going to put a straight line going through those 2 points. Very important. Okay, so you know it's going to go through, but I'm just going to stop right there. All right, now this line is perpendicular to this chord, so that, see this two intercepting, and that is the center. That is the center of the circle. Okay, now if I take the straight edge and if I measure, all right, see, it gives me 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters, 4 centimeters. No matter where I pick, it's going to be what? 4 centimeters. Okay, see that? So the radius turned out to be what? The radius turned out to be 4 centimeters. Right there. And that's the center right there, and the radius is 4 centimeters. Pretty easy, isn't it? All right, good. Well done, my dear students. You're learning a lot. I'm so proud of you. I'm very, very proud of you. All right, my dear students, there is no quiz on this lesson. All right, so have fun, take a nice break, and then come back and see Mr. Mac on the next sub lesson. I'll be here waiting for you. Bye-bye.